And we're going to make this quick, but I think that Felix is going to build upon the conversation I had with him last time.
Hello. Yes, absolutely. How you doing, guys? Sorry, I'm the last one. So I want to get away from the esoteric aspect and look at the real world aspects of religion as a whole. I'm at the point where it's not literally true, probably. I'm not sure. But religion is not the problem. Human corruption is the problem. If you take away religion, the world would still have the same problems. I believe it's a positive ally. I just want to list like 3 examples of 3 positive elements. Mainstream religion, such as Catholicism, reduces anxiety and stress and depression. It provides people with...
I'm going to need a citation on that one, friend.
Yeah, provides people with identity and terror management, and gives people existential meaning and hope. And so my last point, and I'll give you a citation. Therefore, religion is actually a humanist psychological tool that betters humanity. So isn't it better to reform it instead of get rid of it? And the citation would be Stephen Asma in his book, Why We Need Religion. He makes the case for this.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that author or that literature, but I can definitely say that the statistics that I'm aware of don't bear that out by any means. Maybe as a religious trauma therapist, I might be reading from one particular set of information, and I'll recognize that, but I certainly don't know that it's fair to make the claim that religion leads to a reduction in anxiety or a number of the other things that you pointed out. All of that is kind of tertiary, though, to the question of, is it fucking true? And I cannot say that it is. Again, 27 seasons, and we've yet to see proof that it is. I don't know that that's not necessarily where we're trying to go with this phone call, but it's worth pointing out that religion could be, quote-unquote, good for you. And if it's a lie, I'm still not convinced that I want it. How does that land for you, Jimmy?
Yeah, Felix, it's good to talk to you again. I'm glad you called back. So we're kind of on the same conversation that we were on a few weeks ago when you and I and Ben spoke. The religion is not necessary for any of the good, right, that can be done without it, right? I agree. There might very well be the same kinds of problems that we have without religion. But it's not necessary to do the good things that we can do without it. And this idea that it reduces anxiety, I take a lot of issue with that, because the amount of crime, the amount of human rights violations that have been done in the name of religion would refute that automatically. I agree that it gives hope to people, but this idea that it is a cause for good has been refuted over and over and over again. The spread of AIDS in Africa, the targeting of children in cathedrals, I don't even know where to stop, if I were to list them all day. So I don't think it's reasonable for humanity. It's not reasonable to assume that religion is a good thing and that we necessarily need it. I get the same benefits doing, jujitsu, or having campfires with my friends, or volunteering at a homeless shelter, all things that I do. And I get that social aspect. I get that contribution to society. I get all of those things, and I don't need to go to church for it. And so I would just use that as my counter to your claims. Calling it humanist is a very big stretch, my friend.
That felt like a reach.
Yeah. Like I'm not trying to make fun of you or anything, but it's kind of the opposite, Felix. So what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, those nasty things do happen in the name of religion, and so I'm not discrediting that at all. I say it's true. You're right. What I want to say is those things also happen without religion. So humanity is the problem, not religion.
Right, but
humans kind of suck. One of the ways that they suck is when they crusade and jihad one another, among others. Like the notion that religion isn't the problem, humans are. Well, okay, so your religion is perfect by itself. Let's keep it away from all the humans who keep corrupting it. What is your religion good for when it just exists on the shelf, independent of humanity?
religion provides people comfort that they cannot get from rational thought.
Yeah, that is very true. Morphine also can provide comfort independent of rational thought, but we have to be very, very mindful in how we use it. And so often, as we've seen in the opioid epidemic in this country, we use it in ways that are incredibly destructive. And I think that that's the thing to focus on here. Can religion benefit somebody's life? Yes. Again, there are a whole lot of us, and some of us have had our lives become better because of religion. Does that mean that religion is universally good or even generally good? I think that we have more than 2,000 years of human history to kind of bear that question out, and it doesn't look great.
Human history doesn't look great either. So,
yeah. Well, it's got too much religion in it. Maybe we'll try an experiment of 2,000 years without religion and see how humans do. Give it a try.
Good things and horrible things happen with or without religion, Felix. I mean, that's the conclusion we're at. I mean,
yeah, I agree with that conclusion.
Well, why isn't God fixing that?
That's a good question.
Right, it's a good question because we can't get an answer to it. I mean, every question about God is a good question because you're never going to get the answer.
Yeah, so we won't get an answer. Maybe we'll never get the answer. But it's part of the religion is part of the process because it's just there. It's not going to go away because it's a fundamental part of who we are. We evolved to become religion, so it helped us survive.
No, Felix, I disagree. It's not a fundamental part of who I am. Actually, my rejection of religion is a fundamental part of who I am. And when religion was in control, I love this old adage. There's a reason it was called the Dark Ages, right? When religion was in control, I mean, it held us back big time. And it wasn't until we kind of started seeing schisms in the church and people kind of going away from the church losing its ability to torture and kill people when scientific revolutions and artistic revolutions started taking place. I think we're going a little long, Felix. I don't particularly think that we're going to reach a conclusion on this topic. We talked about this last time. I'm glad that you took my advice and called back and we got to talk again. Christy, any parting shots?
No, not at all. Just that I hear what you would like to be true, and I would just really encourage you to scratch the surface on so many of these claims or any of the evidence that you're talking about, because there is no good empirical data that I'm aware of, as somebody who would love to see that data, that religion actually benefits on a wide scale people's experiences of anxiety or many of the other things you talked about. So catch me in the AXP Facebook fan group. Drop me some of that data. Give me some research studies to look at. I am so here for it. I'm going to go back and listen to this conversation and find that book that you were discussing, see if I can't find any reason to read it, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much for calling.